What's going on, guys? Geek Detective Pierce here. So, it's come to my attention that the new trailer for Godzilla and Kong New Empire has just dropped, and already it's causing some confusion with the appearance of a certain character, and yet I've yet to watch it. So, let's change that. Okay. Okay. No kidding. Uh-oh. A society. Okay. So, I think what's pretty clear is that there's definitely an ancient society that they don't know about. But there is one bit that did catch my attention, and it's probably going to be making the rounds. What is it with Godzilla? That's the question. What is going on? Well, I did some digging, and I have to ask the obvious question. Then do you call this? Look at this. If you don't see the connection, that's not my fault. But this is what I suspected from the start. Do I think it works out? Maybe, in terms of the plot. But consider this. This isn't the first time that both countries keep trying to, I don't know if I would say adapt, but more or less um, mimic one another. To go a little further, I'm gonna deviate a tiny bit here. Is that Marvel and DC, excuse me, they've done that themselves. With that being said, I do have to point out something here. So, going back. So we see a seismic counter going off. There appears to be ruins that lead to something. That much is clear. My guess is that on here you see they're just observation towers. And then we see a hand with a wearing a mechanical, I guess I could say gauntlet, if you will. And it's pretty clear that, you know, Kong is exploring his surroundings. And obviously he's the one that is wearing that gauntlet later on. This shot right here, I like how the shadow kind of like gives that impression that, you know, Kong is facing something big. But this has been used before. It goes from offense to just like, what is this? I mean, one, we know he's not alone in the world. And then this shot right here, definitely foreboding. So we know that Kong is not the only one around. But this part right here, this is where things get interesting. A society of sorts hidden within there. Some more new creatures. Obviously, the stuff gets to the surface, literally. And then a certain familiar face. She seems to be getting a central role here. What that is, I don't know. However, as I said before, we know the G-Man is underground, which then leads to, give me a second, this. I mentioned it already, Godzilla 2000, and then you see this. Some may be going, why the heck? Will they ever explain it? I don't know. Is there any assumptions? Most likely. But there is one bit that is pretty interesting. This. No doubt, Goji Center and Dangerfield are going to be going over this trailer bit by bit, scene by scene. But now we can tell this one is not only different, but also from my observation, a bit militant. If you can see the spines on here, and he's kind of like basically the dominant end of the whatever species that is. And then we get this money shot right here. Obviously, it's in the hollow earth. Here on this shot, you can see the little gauntlet that Kong has, and then the trailer ends from there. So, what do I think of it? Decent premise, more questions than answers. However, it's the human aspect that's probably either going to drag it, cause it to be mediocre, or something else. What that is, I'm not entirely sure, but with the recent Godzilla -1 that came out, all I'm going to say is that Americans really are clueless in terms of adaptation, at least nowadays. You want proof? Go back several decades before the internet existed. And I'm not joking. Go back, take a look at the films that existed before the internet. You'd be surprised. They have more quality than the ones that are out now. But that being said, this is just my general thoughts. And pretty much I am also pointing out the hypocrisy of modern artists these days. Because let's face it, Americans can't do a damn thing these days. But this is just my general thoughts on the latest trailer. Also want to give a quick shout out to Goji Center and Dangerville. I know they're going to be reviewing it. I know others are going to be reviewing it. The new Empire is probably going to be either a hashtag or it's going to be trending. One thing is for certain, this is going to be making its rounds on the internet. But this is just my general thoughts on the trailer itself and my reaction to it. This is Skyhound, also known as Geek Detective Pierce, signing off for now. Peace.